Hi, this is Nkiru and you're listening to the InsurTech Business Series podcast. Please stay tuned.
It's a pleasure to have you on our podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philomene, for having me and the team. Thank you so much.
I'm sure that you're having an amazing day today.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. We would like to get to know who Nkiru is. Who is Nkiru? What has she been up to? And, just an overview of, what you've done in the past and, how you've come to the insurance space.
Nkiru is a multi-potentialite. I always like to put that first when I start speaking because I'm a woman of many parts. Started my career in medical space, did a bit of medicine, left, went into nursing, and finished that, went into customer advocacy, postgraduate in that, finished that, and then went in to do a master's in public health. And for every degree or certification that I did, there was really a need on my end to advance and get more knowledge or information just to be able to help people. I believe it's my life's worth to really just help people and impact as much as possible. So my journey into insurance has been somewhat in this same fashion. Started a couple of years ago whilst I was in the UK. I was a member of the NHS Clinical Commissioning Group at the time in Birmingham. And we were responsible for vetting service providers for the consumers. And, just seeing the sheer effect of the possibility of insurance and funding, availability of funding on the choices that were made for service providers versus the quality and the delivery that we were getting, my interest was definitely piqued. And I said to myself, there's definitely something in insurance that, I need to start to look into deeply. So whilst I was there and started planning my return back to Nigeria, I decided that, I was going to bring that experience into insurance. And I landed my first role in 2015 as a country service manager for the health insurance at the time. So that's how I found myself in the insurance space.
Such an amazing journey. I mean, given the fact that it wasn't like originally core insurance, but I mean, when you took that decision to come back to Nigeria and then, you joined health insurance sector, was it what you had envisaged, or were there, challenges with, these experiences that you've had, compared to what you'd experienced back then in the UK?
From an experience point, I would say yes. And a major dividing factor for the experiences I've had both whilst I was in the UK and whilst I'm in Nigeria is basically regulation here. So it is mandatory across the different levels of human interaction there that some level of insurance is had across the different facets of human, engagement. In Nigeria, it's not the same. It's not mandatory. So there are still areas where we are still trying to convince people that they need to get insurance, where it is absolutely required for them to have. So just that sheer regulatory involvement made a whole lot of difference, or makes a whole lot of difference in terms of what the experience has been like for me. And yeah, it's been challenging since I moved back to Nigeria, but it's been interesting in all of the challenges, because challenges are not just there for you to encounter, they're there for you to encounter and surmount. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, with regulatory intervention, we're sure that, the insurance penetration would, be a lot more progressive. Why did you choose Africa? Why didn't you try to opt for practicing insurance back there in the UK?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. I think my decision to focus on solving the insurance problem in Africa is really deeply rooted in my diverse background, like I mentioned earlier, in healthcare, customer advocacy, and quality management. These experiences provided me with a very unique perspective that I feel is both crucial and innovative in tackling the challenges in health sector in Africa. So my healthcare experience has exposed me to the critical gaps that people have in terms of access to financial protection, especially for medical expenses. I witnessed firsthand how the lack of insurance has led to many devastating financial consequences for families. I also understand healthcare systems and the patient needs positions. So it made it very easy for me to start to advocate for insurance solutions that are more aligned with the real world, especially with the needs of African consumers, especially providing coverage that would ensure better healthcare outcomes. My customer advocacy experience has equipped me with the skills to listen and understand the needs of customers. I'm a customer-centric person, and everything that I do really just speaks about customers, especially in the African context where we have a huge problem around distrust and lack of awareness about insurance products. So bringing in the skills that helps me being able to empathize with customers and advocate for them has also even allowed me to design or bring that perspective in the design of insurance products that are not only accessible for customers, but also trusted by the communities that we are meant to serve.
Yeah, so talking about customer centricity, right? Also your passion, for the health sector. Could you just give us a deeper dive into what you were doing at IO? Because we've seen part of the products. Is this, sort of interconnected? Your passion for customer centricity and also, the kind of impact that IO is doing in the African market.
Absolutely. Our focus has really just been to bridge the gap. And that's been the motivation for many years, to bridge the insurance gap in Africa, especially in areas where penetration of insurance is low and financial vulnerability is high. We also understand that this lack of access to traditional insurance is a big deal due to the costs, complexity, and mistrust. So all of the things that we bring to the market, the different markets, are solutions that really aim to offer peace of mind to Africans and ensure that they have some form of financial protection. I always say that we look forward to a time where every African can put their hands on their chest and say they have one form of insurance or the other, regardless of their age, regardless of their gender, regardless of their social status, because we really think that everybody needs to be able to have some form of insurance to protect them. So across all the different countries where we are operating in, all of our products are designed and tailored to focus on those things: affordability, simplicity, ease of access in terms of how the products reach the customers, and of course, following a digital first approach.
Fantastic. I like exactly what you said at the end, because that was going to take me to my next question in terms of affordability and also in terms of accessibility. I like the fact that you also mentioned that, the goal is to ensure that every African at least has one form of insurance. What are the examples of, this product or solutions that, IO has come up with in recent years?
I think we've done a couple, and I'm just trying to summarize the solutions that we've brought to the markets where we operate in. The first one is the mobile microinsurance solution. So what we've done is we leverage on mobile technology to provide microinsurance products that are affordable and easy to use. And we've been able to do this by partnering with mobile network operators, where we have the opportunity of the platform to be able to reach a large number of people, including those in remote areas. And this initiative has significantly increased insurance penetration in the different areas where we are in, with millions of policies sold via mobile platforms. With these platforms, customers can sign up, manage their policies, file their claims directly from their mobile phones, making insurance more convenient and accessible for them. We also deployed the pay-as-you-go solution, insurance solution, where we are able to offer you pay-as-you-go products that allow the customers to pay premiums in small, flexible installments that really matches their cash flow and reduces the burden of, the lump sum payments that you would have in the traditional space. And this model has made insurance more affordable and, enticing for low-income individuals, and that has increased the uptake of, our insurance products. It has also helped us to improve customer retention, because the flexibility in payment plan fits better with the irregular income patterns that you find in many African households. Two other key things that I think that we've done that's significant to mention is the embedded insurance initiatives, where we are able to embed insurance products with mobile airtime or banking products. So customers can receive free insurance coverage when they top up their mobile airtime or when they open a savings account, and that's operative in other countries. And this has also, increased the awareness or acceptance of insurance amongst people who may not have otherwise considered it. Then the last one that I think we pride ourselves in a lot is our community outreach and education. We know that we are still grappling with the problem of insurance education, especially in Africa. So a lot of what we do as per initiatives is really just to conduct extensive outreach programs and financial literacy campaigns that, educates people about the importance of insurance and how it can protect them. Now, we've seen that these educational initiatives have gone ahead to build trust in the understanding of insurance products, leading to higher adoption rates. Because I always tell people or sales managers, insurance is not just selling one product, it's ensuring that even before the product lapses, your customer is the one who's asking you, I want to go ahead and do a renewal. Why? He understands the product that he has bought. He understands why he needs that product. And that's where we need to get our customers to the place where they are the ones who are now driving, insurance adoption as much as possible.
I mean, that's absolutely true because the community outreach is a fantastic initiative because, again, I think that one of the biggest issues for insurance, and again, apart from, the fact that there's already trust issues in that space, is the fact that there's a whole lot of, communication gap between those who actually need insurance and, the providers of insurance, as it were. And so based on that, level of educational gap and communication gap, a lot of people just, again, would run with the story of, even though I don't know insurance, I don't trust it. Right. Mm-hmm. So having that kind of community outreach, again, like I said, that's an amazing initiative because it sort of drives that grassroots educational level. I think that's an amazing initiative. So you touched upon embedded insurance, you touched upon, pay as you go, and you also touched upon the mobile insurance as well. All of this beautiful product and impact, how have they improved your service to these retail customers, right? How have they increased customer or consumer participation? I know you talked about, customer retention and, having to get customers who are willing to renew their products. But are they effectively driving those customer retention and, what's like the participation level in the market?
Across the different countries that we operate in, I would say that we have a very decent market share in those spaces. We've also seen an increase in insurance adoption, especially in the level that we're speaking of the underserved population, because they've seen the authenticity of claims payment. I always say that the true value of insurance is claims payment. And so no matter how fantastic your product is, no matter how easy or beautiful your marketing and branding is, if you're not paying claims, if people cannot come back and say, I had this issue, I bought this product, I had this issue, and I got my claims paid promptly, then we still haven't delivered value. The true value of insurance is claims payment. So in terms of the client or customer testimonials that we get, many times unsolicited, people still get claims being paid and they say things like, oh my God, I didn't believe that it was true, or I didn't. And so we've seen many IO ambassadors, and these are people who have gotten their claims repaid, and they go ahead and they talk to their family members, talk to their community, because we always say that the insurance is not something that you keep, as a hush-hush conversation. Oh, don't let someone know I have insurance. No, insurance is something that we need to talk to everybody about. So we've seen the claims payments drive a new level of customers that we can now call IO ambassadors, who go on their own, unsolicited totally, and recruit people and tell people about the good news of, insurance. So for me, that's a huge win in just seeing how beneficial these products have been.
I like the IO ambassador. That's actually fantastic. I wanted to touch upon, the fact that you've recently moved into IO Nigeria and, you're the one at the ends of affair now. What exactly are strategy as well as, the business model and focus for you?
I discovered this awesome, amazing platform, Cucumber AI, and everything was simple.
I chatted with a doctor online and a prescription was sent to me.
Went to the nearest pharmacy to get my medication.
As I take it like this, I want to say everywhere where they pay me disappear.
Our partnership with Cucumber has been an eye-opener for us. Today, customers can purchase micro-insurance on the PalmPay app.
And through our partnership with CubeCover, we are making insurance part of everyday life.
CubeCover.
Coverage on the go.
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 So for me, the focus really now is enhancing our partnership advantages. If you look at where we stand at IO with Sanlam and MTN and Momo, on the other hand, people always say charity begins at home. I'm focused right now on trying to help our partners to grow their base in different ways. So it's really starting the growth from internal and then sending it out. Yeah, that's really the strategy I'm focusing on now.
Would this also translate to, I know you touched upon embedded insurance, but is that also part of, this partnership strategy?
Absolutely. I think that embedded insurance is the future of insurance, if you ask me. So absolutely, in our designs, in our conversations and agreements, embedded insurance always will be on the table as a first choice option in how we want to distribute or deliver any product we're bringing to the Nigerian market.
Marrying the old and new, how are you managing, that aspect of, relationship with these partners?
So I think generally navigating relationships with traditional insurers and insurtech companies like IO, it really does require a delicate balance of leveraging, established industry expertise whilst driving innovation. And I always say you cannot always get 100% system. So as much as possible, find the balance that works part-time. So as an insurtech, IO Holdings, really when we introduce new technology or business models to a sector that has been, slow to evolve, it really means that we are integrating cutting-edge digital solution with more balanced, or established practices of conventional insurance. And whilst we maintain this strategic relationship with, Sanlam, for example, it's really, really important to understand that the old can really marry the new effectively. Because if you look at the advantage that everybody brings to the table, and it just makes sense. Sanlam brings a wealth of experience in this space, a very strong brand, and an extensive regulatory, knowledge, which is invaluable in this industry where we are at. On the other hand, IO contributes its technological expertise, agility, and understanding of the mobile-first customer base, particularly in markets like Nigeria, where insurance penetration is very, very low.
Talking about this relationship, right? I want to understand the role of regulation.
So I think regulation really plays a huge role. I always say both a proactive and supportive role in fostering the growth I would want to see in the insurance space. The first thing is with regulators, establishing clear, forward-thinking regulatory frameworks that balance innovation with customer protection is the first thing on my mind. Where we have effective, sandbox environments, regulators can really allow the insurtech startups to test, products and services in a controlled setting, because you must not stifle innovation, but you also want to allow innovation grow within the framework of safety, especially for consumers. So I feel like this approach will really encourage experimentation and tech advancement within the industry that would help to improve penetration that we're talking about. Additionally, I find that from a regulatory point of view, if there's a huge focus on capacity building and collaboration with industry stakeholders, it will take us a long way, or will go a long way in, improving what we want to see. Most times I hear or see traditional insurers almost downplay or look down on insurtech companies because they don't believe or think that they have the necessary training and resources that can help them function as insurtechs. But the regulators can fill in this gap by providing training and resources that can help the traditional insurers understand and integrate new technologies, and also help to facilitate partnerships between insurtech companies and traditional insurance that can accelerate the adoption of these solutions as we have it.
I mean, that's spot on, to be honest, because again, we've always opined that regulators are the key drivers, of this insurance and insurtech ecosystem, right? So driving that sort of, collaboration, and also driving that sort of participation as well, both at the insurance and, at the insurtech level, again, like you said, would really go a long way. But just an additional question as to where you see the insurtech ecosystem in Africa in, say, 10, 15 years?
Technology is moving really fast. I mean, for us to be in Nigeria and we're hearing conversations around AI really growing, it means that there's something that is happening. So I feel like in the next decade, a couple of developments would, likely take shape in the insurtech industry. The first one for me would be the widespread adoption of AI and machine learning. We would get into a space where AI-driven chatbots and virtual assistants will provide personalized customer service. Again, very big on customer experience, personalized customer service, streamline claims processing, and really offer tailored insurance products. I also think that in terms of risk assessment and underwriting, we will have a lot of machine learning algorithms that would, enable more accurate risk assessment and dynamic pricing models that will really lead to fairer premiums and reduce underwriting costs. I also think very strongly that in the next decade, we'll be looking at the Internet of Things and connected devices as it relates to insurance, where we will start to drive proactive risk management, where you have the Internet of Things devices, such as the wearables and smart home sensors that can provide, real-time data that can allow insurers to offer proactive risk management services and personalized premiums. I remember speaking to a friend a couple of months ago in Europe, and they were going to launch a product that was like a heat regulator. So it's a device placed in the house, and it monitors the heat level of individuals. So, for example, you travel and there is a fire incident. Before the fire incident even erupts, because it measures the heat in the environment where there's a sensitivity of fire or a greater heat somewhere, it triggers an alarm system or a warning system that, triggers the fire services and all before the fire actually happens. And I think that, getting into a space where we can have connected devices that can do that would, drive a lot of adoption in terms of how insurance will be used. And this then leads to usage-based insurance, where a lot of the connected devices will support UBI models, particularly in auto and health insurance, where premiums are actually based on, usage and behavior.
I mean, that's the future of insurance.
Exactly. I also think that there will be a widespread expansion of microinsurance, really to be able to drive the financial inclusion that we are speaking about.
What is next for your organization?
So for me, the first things first would be to grow in the Nigerian space. We've taken all the lessons from the different countries where we had previously existed in, and we're bringing those lessons in here. I mean, suffice to mention that even though we have the same product in our stables, many times the implementation of that product in the different opcodes is different. So I can have a funeral product, for example, and it gets to Nigeria and is not what the people in Nigeria want. So bringing those lessons and finding the best product that works here is what we are really keen on delivering in as first prize. And then, of course, growing to support our partners in MTN and Momo, and then growing to support our partners in Sanlam to also deliver the best that they can in terms of the product that they have in their bouquet is one of the key focus that we will be, pushing on in the next couple of years. But growth really is where we're driving at.
Fantastic. I mean, we're looking forward to seeing those growth, and we trust that Ayo is actually going to be one of those, forerunners that would help take insurance to where, it needs to be. We'll be looking out for that. if people are looking to connect with you, if they're looking to partner with Ayo, how can they, reach out to you?
Anyone can reach out via email. My email is nkiru.okere@ayoforyou.com. On LinkedIn is Nkiruka Okere, and we'll be happy to take any conversations ahead. Again, collaboration and partnerships is where the future holds. So we're really open to see how we can collaborate with people. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We just want to make things better and deepen penetration as much as possible.
Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast. And we're excited to have you here. We're looking out for you as well as for Ayo. And we know that, again, this is the future of insurance.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.